Thank you. Mike. Yeah, Mike, you want to follow up on it?
Just because the city's actions have been mentioned here, just a couple brief points. We had every reason to believe that this was no longer controversial after I sent my letter because we received no response. There was a second, and given that the attorney sent us a letter the day before, the evening before the first event, there's still a second event 7 days later. There was no objection raised in that entire time. Not only that, as I said, there was no complaint filed with the Wisconsin Elections Commission. Not only that, there was a lawsuit filed in Dane County Circuit Court to try to have a judge confirm that these ballots would be valid. The Republican leadership was essentially invited into that lawsuit. They had notice of that lawsuit. That would have been an opportunity for them to bring their arguments to the court, to have a court rule on them. And as Attorney Walsh said, these voters, for 6 weeks or whatever it was, they were under the understanding that those ballots were valid. And if an objection had been brought at the appropriate time and it was ruled that they were not valid, those voters would have had an opportunity to vote. Now they have no more opportunity to vote. This board cannot disenfranchise 17,000 voters because you don't like the statute. If you don't like the statute, you change the statute. There is no requirement that a ballot be personally submitted from the voter to the clerk. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from Board of Canvass members? Do you have a question, Joyce? Or any? Okay, well, thank you for your arguments. We'll take it up now. One thing I do want to say, Mr. Troupas, I want to defend the clerk office in the sense that since there was no legal challenge or complaint with the Election Commission, and as you guys have been able to see to the last several days, they would have to take those ballots and put them in the correct wards to be processed on election day. So they maybe right away that could have been, something could have been done, but legally they would have to get them in the right wards. So I just want to defend any clerk, you know, they have to do that part of the job at some point. And to me, you know, really what was happening in the parks were human drop boxes. You mentioned that this was an obvious attempt to, when you first thing you said, this was an obvious attempt to get around the early voting law, and I view it as an obvious attempt to get around the Postal Service slowdown. And I don't see any, you know, there should be a high bar to disqualify someone's vote. We've been doing it here when they haven't had a witness signature, when they haven't had a, when the voter didn't sign it, and we're willing to do it in those situations. But those are cited in law. This is speculative, so I think we should move on. But we'll rule on it. 2-1, or how do you want to do it? So 2-1, we are not going to draw down or do anything. Deny. Yeah, we're going to deny your objection on that. So Alan and myself, and then Joyce is the one. Okay. Do you have anything?
Can I say something else?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So this is one of the rare occasions when everybody's sort of listening in. And on behalf of the Trump campaign, I want to thank the board. But even more, I want to thank all the tabulators and others who have given of their time this week to come in here. And thank all the volunteers for both campaigns that are here, because it shows that we have a vibrant democracy. We're transparent. We try desperately to be transparent here in Madison, and it speaks so highly of our county and the place we are. And I just want to make sure I would not leave here without thanking all of you for all that you have done. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Hold on one second. Wait. I don't want to get feedback. Did you have something?
Mine's on. And Attorney Troupas, one thing I want to make clear, just because we're conducting a recount here, as everybody knows, we're doing a lot of work here, and given the relief that you said, you know, obviously this will ultimately come before a court and we'll rule on it. Given the relief that you are seeking here, and just given the practicalities of how ballots are taken in and recorded and stored and maintained, it seems to me that that this legal issue is not something that's an issue between observers and tabulators for particular ballots or for particular ballot envelopes. Rather, again, given that your relief is essentially for a citywide drawdown, a court could, if, should it turn out that your legal argument prevails, a court could order that later on, and that would be fine, and it's just irrespective of the counting process here. And I just wanted to confirm that that was the case.
And to the board, all I wanted to tell you is we're going to talk about that, and I'll let you know. I'm not disagreeing with what you've said, because we desperately tried to get these things identified to the ward level as best we can. One part of it can be, we think, through the witnesses and the like, but that could be done later as well as today, and otherwise the general. So I will let you know before we leave this evening. I don't believe we're going to get to that today.
No, I think right now, Madison is going to be first thing tomorrow morning.
So we'll let you know before it
But
starts.
yeah, make sure, and if you need my help to help communicate, so we're all on the same page, that would be helpful.
I
And-
appreciate the clarity
yeah,
of that.
absolutely.
No problem.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.